All right, so in this module, we're going to be talking about other strikes and other ways of defending ourselves with some of the stuff that we do. So we've already talked about palm, heels, and punches. We've talked about our elbows and our knees. And those are the ones that if you don't practice a lot, you're still going to be okay at. It's basic motion. I'm just pushing forward with punches and my palm heels, or I'm going with my just twisting my body and extending my elbow or bringing my knee up really fast. Excuse me. So the next one we're going to talk about are hooks. Now we have hook punches and we have palm heels that become a hook going across. Now these take a little bit more effort to get down, but they go great to the side of the head. So we just have to remember, if we're going to do a punch, just like we hit with this part in a normal punch, we're going to be hitting with that same part, but we're just coming sideways. So closer range, and I would use the elbow before I would use a hook in self-defense for somebody who's not a martial artist and trained in how to use a hook punch very well, but we're going to practice a little bit. So you just stand with your feet right here. Imagine they're really close, they're right there, face in face. Maybe they got you pinned up against the wall and they're grabbing you right there. So you're taking this one hand, you're bringing it up, and it's going to stay. I'll show you sideways. It stays in a 90-degree-ish angle. Right? So I'm just boom, and I'm here. Boom. Now I like to practice going past the center line. So if this is their head, I'm actually going past their head. So I'm going to bring my arm all the way through until my elbow's over here. But notice, my arm is still bent. We're not extending it straight. It's not like a punch sideways here. I'm just pulling it through using my hips and my shoulders a little bit. Try both sides. So go the other side, this side. Bring it across, bring it across. Now, if you prefer to have those open hands, because in self-defense, remember from the flinch right here, we may not exactly be perfect in those fists. Have your hand open for that palm heel, like we do a normal palm heel, and just do the same thing. We're still hitting with this part right here. Driving it into their chin, the side of their face, the side of their ear, the side of their neck, but we're coming across with our palm heels, boom, or our punches. Now, again, that is going to take more effort and more work and more practice to get really comfortable with everything, but in self-defense, you don't have time to think, you just react. And so when that's right there, and your brain thinks, boom, I'm going to hit him on the side, hopefully you've done it enough times by then to maybe get good enough to feel comfortable enough to use that thing. Now, the next one we're going to talk about are groin kicks. When you kick somebody in the groin or the pelvic area, doesn't matter if they're male or female, it's going to cause pain. Now, if you were on a schoolyard fight, so say you are a teenager or you're a kid and you're at school, please do not kick somebody in the groin. It can cause lasting damage for the rest of their life. But if it's self-defense against more life or death situations, say you're an adult against another adult and you need that fight to be over because you need to get home safely and see your family, your life is in danger or somebody else's life is in danger, or let's say you're a kid or a teenager and a stranger's trying to grab you, now it's time to use those skills. So we're going to bring our leg straight up, but we're going to flick it out there. So we're going to start like we're going to do a knee smash. Bring it up and then just let it flick out there. So bend, kick, bend. Bend, kick, bend, right? And even if you let it drop, bend, kick, drop, right? I just don't like to do the drop. I'm just not used to that drop and everything, but it's still going to be okay. So just pick one leg and let's practice it. Bend, kick, bend. Bend, kick, bend. Now, what are you going to hit with? When you hit them down on the ground, you're going to hit with the top of your foot or even maybe some part of your shin. Depends on how close you are. If you're a lot closer and you're not quite close enough for a knee strike, then you're going to be hitting more with your shin, which is perfect. Believe me, and when you hit them in the groin with your shin, you're not going to hurt your shin at all. And when you hit right there, boom, to the groin with the top of that foot, you won't feel that at all either. You're just going to be hitting hard. So it goes bend, kick, bend. Now if you want to try the other side a couple times because you might surprise yourself. You might be used to doing your right and then your left feels better. So try the other side. So if you're doing the same side while looking at me, this would be your right leg this time, and it's my left leg. So bend, kick, bend. Bend, kick, bend. And again, it's just going down low, so you don't have to be flexible. We're not trying to go, I'm kicking up there by my head. We're just keeping it low. I'm going to the groin. There is no reason in self-defense for somebody who's not a trained martial artist to do any kicks above the waist. There's no reason we need to kick up here. There's no reason we need to kick up here or anything. That takes a lot of practice to be able to use. We're just trying to be like, hey, in self-defense, what's going to work? A kick to the groin is going to work. So practicing that. Now, just like we talked about during the blocks, doing this stuff in the mirror, whether it's your normal punches, palm heels, elbows, knees, the hook punch or the groin kick, doing it while looking at yourself in the mirror, you're going to be able to see your body position better. Some people have good body awareness and some of us don't, and it doesn't matter. If you're watching yourself in the mirror, you're able to see yourself and you're like, oh, okay. And don't worry if you look silly doing it. Just, you want to make sure that your hands and your body are doing kind of the right thing. Repetitive movement just makes it where it's more confident. Do you have to practice these things every day? No. Do I expect that in a month from now you're still going to be practicing your punches? Probably not. But every once in a while, you see some target at the gym, and you're like, I'm going to go hit that thing, right? You look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to practice for 30 seconds. We're working on my blocks. They're trying to hit me, right? Or my groin kick. So now let's talk about the shove. And this is what fellow martial artists hate when I teach, because in martial arts, you don't want to really practice the shove very often. Though I've taught all of my students how to shove somebody, because it works very effectively. If I'm in there, I may not injure them and make them, boom, want to stop fighting. But it gives me a chance if I knock that person back far enough to now escape. Or if I'm on the wall and somehow I was able to get their hands away from me and step through them and shove them back, now I have an escape route to get away from the wall. Or maybe at least if I knocked them back, if they want to fight, I can see them coming before they hit me. So knocking them back. Now, we all know how to shove, we just don't necessarily practice it a lot. So this is a push. A push is only arms. I want to use my whole body. I'm assuming that that person is probably as strong or stronger than me in a fight. So I'm going to step forward with one leg and then come back. Step forward with one leg. Doesn't have to be this giant, large, lunging step or anything. Just step forward like your car was broken down and you were about to step and push the car. Now, have your hands up by your shoulders, kind of like when you do a push-up on the ground. And then as you step forward, extend your arms and push. So we're going boom in there. This is that shove, boom. And if your hands are away from them, as you hit there, you're also going to impact them and continue to push through them like they're not even there. And if you're already on them, maybe they had you pinned up against the wall and you had nowhere to go. If you stepped and you had your hands on them, then you could just push right through them, so you don't have to impact them. So let's just try it a couple more times. Pick one leg, maybe try the other side, because maybe you like stepping with your right leg better than your left leg. But stepping forward, doing that shove. Stepping forward, doing the shove. All right, so we've worked on multiple techniques. The next module that we're going to do, we're going to kind of go back and practice all of them. So get ready to practice some skills.